Hey, what is going on, guys? I appreciate you being here for I think this is number 6. I think this is my sixth live. So I want to thank you all for being here. As I always start to show off, if this is your first time here, please make sure you use the chat function to leave any comments or any questions in the chat. If you're here for the replay, then obviously I want you guys to leave those comments and questions in the comment section below. So let me just get into the comments real quick to see who is here. We got Rolling on 3 Wheels saying hello all. What's going on, Rolling on 3? Grumpy Riker Ryder. Hey, Triple C, what's going on, Grumpy? Appreciate you being here. We got a new community member, Mr. Jimmy Haynes, saying hello, Triple C. He left the Barefoot Army to come over and watch my first live feed on the channel, or his first live feed on the channel. So thank you so much for being here. We were actually watching Terry on the Barefoot Vlogger. You know, always mention him. Definitely a great channel for you guys to check out if you plan on moving to Florida. He's got some great information and very entertaining videos. Chill Man Still Chill is here. Hey everyone, what's going on? Chill Man Still Chill. Rolling on 3, nice shirt, Triple C. Yeah, working on some stuff, man. So this is just like the first one that I'm working on. So yeah, you should expect to see some merchandise with the shirts coming out soon. So if you guys don't know who I am by now, my name is Darnell Leeson, and I am your gracious host here on the Cops Court and Community channel. Before I get started, I always want to say thank you for those who supported the last broadcast, Set Free and Delivered, Rolling on 3 Wheels, and Big Mac Sam. Those guys donated to the channel. And as I always say, everything that I take in from donations, I turn around and put back into the channel. So I appreciate you guys doing that. If you care to donate, again, whether it's $1 or whatever you feel comfortable doing, I appreciate it. Just utilize that chat function. I'm sorry, the super chat function, which is somewhere down on your bottom of your keyboard or your phone with a little smiley face, the $sign. You can utilize that. Use a super chat or a super sticker. Would appreciate that. For those who do not utilize that function, as always, thank you for the support. You can utilize the Cash App if you choose to do so. I definitely appreciate it. But all of the links and some great information are down in the description box below. So on the agenda today, I have a new segment that I'm going to be implementing, and that's just for the engagement to let you guys know that I'm reading your comments, I'm engaging with you all, and that is the comment of the week. So I just go through all my comments, and it's very tiresome sometimes to respond to everything, but I do my best to respond to every single comment. And some of those comments, you know, they lead to back and forth discussion. Some turn out to be videos, responses, but I figure here's a way for me to engage with the community members and, you know, share what they're sharing with me. So that's the first part of the show. The second thing is the license plate cover. This is just really a follow-up because I did a video 3 years ago talking about license plate covers and how they're illegal, not just in my home state, but every single state in the United States. They have some law on the books that tell you that it's illegal. But I went through the comments, not every last one of them, but I went through a majority of them in preparation for this live. And one of the, I guess, common comments that I got was related to them being able to buy it. So I'm going to really get into that. Yes, these things are available, but I'll get into that during the broadcast. And the number 3 part of the show is real stories from the street. The last live that I did, you know, I shared a story about a situation that happened to me while I was performing my law enforcement duties. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to share another story. Again, these are real stories that happened to me. And then the last thing, of course, which is my favorite part of the show, the live Q&A. So let me jump back over to the comments before we get started. So sorry for the shakiness here. Just the way the monitor is tilted up right now. So let's see. Big Mac Sam is checking in. He says, I have my communicators ready to roll. Hey, what's going on, Big Mac Sam? Appreciate you being here. Another supporter, another content creator, driving school instructor in the state of New York. So if you want to check out his channel, please head over there as well. I forgot, my apologies. Rolling on Three Wheels and Grumpy Riker Rider, they also have channels dedicated to the three-wheel bikes. So if you're interested in that, please go support them. Check out their channels. It actually costs you absolutely nothing to support all of these YouTube creators. Conversation with D&D's checking in. Good evening, all. Also, another content creator. Just so happens to be my wife. Go check her out. She's got some big things coming down the pike. So, go and support her. Subscribe to the channel. Again, cost you absolutely nothing. And let's see. Rolling on Three Wheels says, shout out to Grumpy. Check him out. Check out Grumpy. Check out Rolling on Three. All right, guys. So let's just jump right into the broadcast, and we're going to get into the first thing on the agenda, and that is all right. So the comment of the week actually is from Let Me See This 99, who commented on a video that I did regarding the Facebook Messenger scam. And he says, speaking of scams, can you talk about how New York inspection stickers are a scam? And I'm just going to paraphrase what he's saying. He stated that he or she received an email from New York State Department of Motor Vehicles stating that the inspection period due to the pandemic would be extended. And this extension started from May of 2020. And he says he or she again got no other emails after the initial email, but unfortunately, he or she, Let Me See This 99, got a ticket for their inspection, and they checked the DMV website and found out the information that was there. No other emails, and he or she again is questioning, how is this legit? Well, Let Me See This 99. First of all, sorry you got a ticket, for your inspection being expired, but yes. The governor put out an executive order. If your license, your registration, your inspection, any of those documents that expired after March due to the pandemic, yes, there was a grace period and they extended it. So if you got pulled over, they would understand because of the pandemic, it's extended, it's expired, so it's fine. With respect to DMV sending out those emails, yes, they notified people that their inspections, would be extended. But that's because at some point you signed up for that DMV notification, letting, you asked DMV, please let me know when my registration is due. Let me know when my inspection is due. So that was your notification that, hey, it's expired or it's going to expire. So in that email, they sent you information, I'm sure they did, that said, due to the pandemic, we're going to allow that expiration to be extended as a grace period, as a forgiveness, or however they worded it. But nowhere in that executive order, and I'm sure nowhere in that email, did they say you cannot get your car inspected. By all means, you could have went and got that vehicle inspected. Nothing prevented you from getting that car inspected. Now I get it. We're in phase 4 in March. The pandemic, the numbers were crazy. People were dying, God rest their souls. People lost their lives due to the pandemic. When we got down to 3, you didn't go. We got down to 2, you didn't go. When we got down to phase 1, you still didn't go. You chose not to get your vehicle inspected, even in phase one, when the numbers were at its lowest, when things started opening back up. You chose not to go. How long did you expect this thing to ride out? At some point, they were going to summons you. Why? Because November 3rd, the state said any of your inspections that are not taken care of, expect some type of enforcement action. And I'm just paraphrasing it. That's not what they said. I'm just paraphrasing. So, of course, you got a summons because you waited until after November 3rd. At some point, you still didn't go after November 3rd to get your vehicle inspected. So the notification was out there. They just didn't send you an email because it's not their responsibility to tell you after how many months that your vehicle still isn't inspected. But when it came time for you to renew your registration, they would have said, hey, wait a minute. It's been some time since your vehicle was inspected. You're not going to be able to renew your registration until you get the vehicle inspected. So it's not incumbent upon the state to notify you that, you know what, we're going to end the grace period and go get your vehicle inspected. They did it. They just didn't send any emails. So again, I'm sorry you got a ticket for it, but the inspections in the state, they're there for a reason. They want to make sure that your vehicle is safe. They want to make sure that, you know, it's safe to operate on the highways in the state of New York. So unfortunately, you're going to have to pay it. Is it legit? Yes, it's legit. My apologies to you, but get your vehicle inspected. So that was the comment of the week, guys. I'm sure that they're not happy with my answer, but I shoot from the hip, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You were wrong. Unfortunately, you were wrong. So why we were here, well, why we are all here, we're going to roll into the second part of the agenda. But of course, let me jump back into the comments before I move on, because I want to stay, you know, up to date with all of you guys being here. So Ethman, I believe this is Ethman. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but Ethman is asking, is New York State holding traffic court as of today, 3/11/2021? Yes, New York State is holding court as of today, 3/11/2021. They've been holding court for quite some time now. But within the Traffic Violations Bureau, who handle summonses that are issued in the state of New York, and this is outside of any village in the state of New York, Traffic Violations Bureau. So they are operating. The only thing is that the officers who are going to adjudicate those summonses, they're testifying by phone. So they're not showing up in court. The motorists are, the attorneys are, the judges, the clerks, everyone is there. They're just doing everything sort of remote because they're doing it by phone. I know the schedule is kind of messed up right now, because what they're doing is they're not stacking all of the cases, because it's very difficult to testify over the phone. So they're not stacking as many cases. I can tell you right now that I'm going to court for summonses that I wrote in 2018 and 2019. Those cases are just coming up on the court calendar, and anything that was done, especially in 2020, I honestly don't think you're going to see any of those cases come up on the court document, the court docket, until sometime next year. But they are holding court. Rolling on 3 says traffic court is still done by video chat. I actually heard something today that they're going to be moving to a video-based system, sort of like Zoom, or maybe that Microsoft Teams type of platform. That came from one of the attorneys who's sort of upset about that. You know, he's saying, hey, I'm here. The judges, everybody else is here, but the police officers aren't here. This is ridiculous, but I'm not even going to get into his gripe. Chill Man Still Chill says, yes, hit that like button. Yes, please. Make sure you hit the like button as you come into the chat. It helps me get boosted up with the YouTube algorithm. Unfortunately, the people who are watching on Facebook and Twitter, you can't hit the like button, guys. But please come over to this side, come over to the YouTube channel and join the conversation there. I definitely appreciate it. But I appreciate you watching on Facebook. I definitely appreciate you on Twitter as well. But come on over to this side. The water's fine over here. Let's see. Set free and delivered. What's up at the Cops Court and Community and Tribe? What's going on, everyone? Appreciate all of you definitely being here. Let me move into my presentation on these license plate covers. So yes, as you saw, this is just a follow-up to the license plate cover video that I did some time ago. So again, these license plate covers, it's a problem. It is a violation in the state of New York. It's a violation in New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida, Michigan, California, wherever state you're looking at this video right now, it is illegal in your state. You cannot have your license plate covered or obstructed by any means, by anything, whether it's a tinted cover, a tinted plate, smoke clear, doesn't matter. Even if it's like the little chain, you know, with the, I guess the frame, you know, it's made, you know, with, you know, simulating a chain, you know, even if that's not covering the characters on the license plate, it's still illegal because it's going to cover part of the state. So like New York, you know, it says New York, Empire State. So even if part of that's covered, it's illegal. Not a lot of people are going to bust, you know, chops because, you know, it's partially covering it. But I've seen license plate covers that completely cover the state that they're from, and you don't even know. But, you know, me and, you know, my colleagues, we're out there all the time. You know, I can identify a license plate just either by the colors and the shapes of the characters. And there's certain things that I can tell by I can tell by what's on the license plate where that car is from. But anything covering your license plate, it is illegal. So I got a plate cover. I know you really can't see because of the lighting right now, but this one is says black smoke. So it's tinted. It's not as dark as I've seen out there, but I went to my local retail auto parts store and the shelves were full of them. You know, this one was the cheapest one, $9.99. And they went up to $24 and some were even, you know, $30, $35. But those, you know, they had two in the pack that came with screws and little covers for the screws and whatnot. I guess it was fancy packaging. But at the end of the day, yeah, I was able to buy this legally, you know, at a retail auto parts store. I could have gotten this on Amazon, could have gotten it from eBay. I could have gotten it anywhere. But just because they sell it, guys, it doesn't make it legal for you to put on your car. Now, a lot of the comments were, I bought it at this store, I got it from that store. Doesn't matter. There's one thing on this package that you are neglecting to do. Turning it around, and I know you can't see it, but reading it right here, right here, legal disclaimer. It tells you, and I'm just going to paraphrase, it's telling you, check with your state's laws because it is illegal to put this on your car unless it's used for off-road use. And somewhere in here, it says even in California, utilizing this for off-road use, it's illegal. Every single package that I picked up, everyone had this legal disclaimer on here. It said, do not use this on your vehicle on the road because it's illegal. Check with your state. This is what absolves them of any responsibility if you get a traffic summons. They're going to say, hey, you got a ticket? Oh, well, not my fault. We put that disclaimer on the back of our packaging and it says, don't use it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out and buy these things. You're taking a chance because it is an enforceable summons. I can stop you just for this being on your car. I do it and I tell you why. You're beating the system by having these things on your car. Now, in the city of New York, they have speed cameras. If your license plate is covered by this and you're doing 35, well, Yeah, 36 miles per hour. So 11 miles over that speed camera, it's going to snap a photo. And guess what? Yeah, you're beating the system. It may or may not get your license plate. If you're going through a tolling facility and you have this covering your license plate, there's a very good chance that you're beating the system because it's not going to get a clear image of your plate. It's illegal. So these enforcement agencies are out there because they want to, and I'm going to tell you, they want to generate that revenue. You're speeding, speed cameras, red light cameras, they need that money. They're going to enforce this statute. Don't have these on your car. Bottom line, people say in the comments, oh, I want to keep my license plate clean. First of all, it's not your license plate. It is the property of the state that you reside in. It's not yours. If it gets dirty and it gets to the point where you can't even read the characters on your license plate, you are required to return those license plates and get new ones. They can't charge you for it. I see it all of the time. The paint or whatever material they're using on these license plates, they're peeling. So you see like, you know, the color of the state, whatever the license plate color is, and then you see silver because the material, it either wore off, you intentionally scraped it off, you altered your plate in some way that your character on your plate is not readable. That's a violation. You don't even have to have the license plate cover on your car. It could be snow. It could be dirt, mud. It could be anything. If that plate is not clean and readable, you can receive a summons for it. Now, I know I'm going to go to the extreme. God forbid I'm walking across the street, or maybe your family member. Let's not say my family. Let's just say your family member, somebody that you care about deeply, somebody that you love. They're crossing the street, right? And now, boom, they get hit by a car. What happens? They have a plate cover on their car, or it's altered in a way they're going to not be able to identify their car. Oh, it was a black Nissan. Well, what was the license plate? I don't know. I couldn't see it. Or it was covered. Something. They just got away. If they're not human enough to stop and say, hey, I got into an accident, I hit this pedestrian. If they hit you and take off, done. You're never going to be able to identify who the owner of that car is because their license plate it's covered, you know? So just think about that. Don't put these on your car. I can't tell you what to do. It's your car, it's your money, but I'm going to tell you, they're stepping up enforcement with these things, and you're going to receive, at minimum in the state of New York, $138 summons. $9.99, $138 summons. Now, I could probably put this on my car and get away with it a month, maybe a year, maybe 2 years before somebody stops me, because that's something you hear. Oh, I had this on my car for 5 years. Nobody ever said anything. Well, just because they didn't say anything doesn't make it right. And I used this example the other day with someone, if you're walking past the bank and the door is open and the bank is closed and there's a stack of money on that table, would you walk in there and take the money? What's going to happen? You're wrong. So just because you got away with it doesn't make it right. So bottom line, do not have these on your car. They have a disclaimer on here. So if you're telling me or any law enforcement officer, oh, I didn't know that it was illegal, the packaging tells you right here, legal disclaimer, right here, that this should not be on your car. So let me jump into the comments. Anybody got any comments, questions, or concerns about these license plate covers? I know it was quick, but bottom line, I just wanted to show that you can't have these things on your car. It's illegal. The packaging tells you. Check with your state. It's illegal. Let's see. Big Mac Sam says, that's crazy. It's illegal, but they still sell them. I'm not behind that crap. Yeah, they still sell them. But again, the disclaimer is on the back of the packaging, you know, and something that I tell people too, and I forgot to mention, when you go get your license and you fill out whatever form it is in your respective state and you sign that paper, do you know what you're signing? Do you even read it? Do you even care? Or you just say, I want to get my permit so I can get my license. When you sign that piece of paper, you are saying to the state, I'm going to follow the laws of this state. Therefore, you saying you didn't know is not an affirmative defense. If you go to court and say, I didn't know, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to find you guilty. and they're going to hit you with a fine. You can't say I didn't know. That's not an affirmative defense. You signed to get that license. You said, I'm going to know the laws of the state. Not only that the laws of the state that I'm in, that I reside, but the laws of the state that I intend to drive to. I know that's a little difficult, and I said something about that in a previous video. I'm not even going to get into that, but you're signing saying I'm going to know the laws of the state that I'm driving in. So don't say you didn't know, because you should know. Jimmy Haynes. Well, let me go back up one. Rolling on Three Wheels is asking, can I use a replica plate with the same number that DMV issued me? The answer to that is no, you cannot. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, you should go out and do this, but you can go on Amazon right now. Go on Amazon after the video and just type in, license plate. I can go get a license plate for New York right now on Amazon with my plate number on there. One, that's illegal. You're going to find yourself not just with a summons, but if you have a very smart officer, and I work with a few of them, you're going to find yourself in jail. You're going to find yourself in jail for manufacturing a license plate. You're forging an instrument. That's what you're going to find yourself in jail for. You're going to find yourself standing before a judge saying, yeah, I bought a license plate for my car because I lost my old one. Or, you know what? I can't afford to register my car legally and get insurance and all of that stuff. So I bought a license plate. You're going to find yourself in jail. So, no, you cannot use a replica plate. Jimmy Haynes, if that's a cover, some state is illegal to have plate frames on your plates because it could cover up your expired date of plates. There you go. I said that, at the very beginning. Jimmy Haynes, you can be pulled over by an officer. That's a bad day, and he could be that a-hole that day for the cover. Well, again, I said it. You can't even have and I had a picture. I wanted to put it up, but you guys understand it. My community, you're very smart. But you can't have anything covering anything. So even if it covered the top portion of New York and you just see the bottom part of the characters of New York, it's illegal. If you're in Florida and you cover half of Florida, it's illegal. You can't have anything covered. Just don't put anything over your license plate. That'll save you the headache. The Barefoot Vlogger, what's going on? Terry, my man, checking in, driving home from Delray. Got you on in the car, Triple C. This is Terry, guys, from the Barefoot Vlogger. As I said at the beginning, go check out his channel if you plan on moving to Florida. He's got some great information. His videos are very informative, very engaging, very funny guy, very informative. The channel to go to. I appreciate you checking in, Terry. Thank you so much. I checked out your live, and we got to talk, man. We definitely have to talk. So I'm going to probably reach out to you sometime tomorrow if you're available to, talk to you about a couple of things. But appreciate you being here. Big Mac Sam. Some people get themselves into hot water without looking up information about it first. Know the laws. Yep, that's what I said, man. You can't claim you didn't know, because it is actually your responsibility to know the laws of the state that you're driving in. I just don't understand that. But yes, look things up. And again, I showed you the package. It's right there. And again, there was probably 15, 20, if not even 25. It was like a whole section on the rack. And they had different ones, clear ones, dark ones. This one was probably the darkest. Like I said, it's kind of hard to see it because of the lighting right now. But this one is dark. Again, clear, dark, even the frames with I love New York and New York Jets, go Mets, and did I say Mets? Go Yankees. They had all of the sports franchise. They had all of these things on there. Yeah, they're gonna make money, but it's illegal. Now, again, a lot of people they ignore it, but I'm telling you guys right now, with the advent of all of these electronic forms of enforcement, speed cameras, red light cameras, the electronic tolling, they're going to enforce this law because people are beating the system. And these states, they want their money. Don't have them on your car. Plain and simple. You're going to find yourself getting stopped and written a summons. Now, one other thing that they have is it's called a fin, and it looks like a shark fin. Now, it doesn't cover your license plate at all. It doesn't obstruct, anything around the outside. It doesn't cover the state or whatever the state's motto is. It does nothing like that. It's just a small wire frame that goes around your license plate, and then a thin sheet of metal that looks like a shark fin that you can slide over, or actually in between a character. So if your license plate is ABC123 and you slide that fin in between the B and the C. Now, again, those enforcement cameras are set at a 45-degree angle. So when it goes to snap that picture, that little thin piece of metal, it's like a mirror. So what's going to happen? It's going to see AB, and then it's going to see a mirrored image of BA. That's illegal. And on the reverse side, you're going to see, the 1, 2, 3 and the C, but it's just going to be the reverse image because it's like a mirrored image. Now, people have said, oh, I'm not covering my plate. You can still see it because if you're dead center, you're looking at the plate from behind. Yeah, you're going to see ABC 1, 2, 3, but off kilted to the side, you're not going to be able to see it. But at the same time, you are obstructing that plate from being read. So yes, you can be stopped for that as well. You can be issued a summons for it. Just leave your plates alone, man. That's my advice to you. Don't have your license plate covered at all. So I think I'm caught up with all of the comments and questions. So I'm just going to keep it moving along. There's some other things that I'm sure you guys need to get to this evening. So I'm just going to jump into what do we got on the agenda next? Oh, let me go back. I did a giveaway last live, which was the $25 Amazon gift card. Now I said, hey, listen out for these 5 keywords during the presentation. And all you had to do was put them in order, send me an email, and that was your chance to enter to win. Guess what? Nobody did it. So probably the next live that I do really didn't have time to put it together today. So I'm just going to roll over the prize, or the giveaway, not a prize. I'm going to do the giveaway on the next live. So just be prepared for that. I'm just going to do the same thing. Going to drop a few keywords, and all you got to do is put them in order and send them to me. And that's how you enter into the giveaway. So let's just jump into the next thing, and that is the real stories from the street, guys. So my real story, and again, I wanted to share some stories with you just to engage as the community, so you know who I am. And anybody that's new, Jimmy, you're new here, but I always explain, I've been in law enforcement since April of 1996. I started with a township in Nassau County in New York, and I stayed there until 2004, which I got hired by another agency in the state of New York, and I've been there ever since. I've written thousands of summonses, made hundreds of arrests, and I always say, or question, am I an expert? Yes, I'm an expert. And the reason why I'm an expert is because anytime I go to court, whether it's for an arrest, traffic court, or any type of criminal court summons violation, the ADAs or the people's attorney always say he's an expert based on the number of summonses that he's issued and the number of arrests. So am I an expert? Yes, I'm an expert in my field in what I do. So I just ran, I had one of my supervisors run a report for me, and this was 2 weeks ago. And I'll probably share that with you guys sometime soon. But I've issued well over 8,000 summonses with this agency that I'm at now. And if I calculate the other 7,000 that I did in my previous life at the previous job, those are some very big numbers. But just here, with the agency that I'm at now. I've been in court well over 2,222 times. That's the number that showed up on the report. My overall conviction rate was 95 point something percent. And those are great numbers. So I'm proud of those numbers. And anybody that knows me, I just don't go out and write summonses to hurt people. I do things to make sure that I'm safe, my family's safe, and that you guys are safe. So every summons that I write, it's safety related. And if it leads to, 2 or 3 summonses, or if it leads to an arrest, so be it. But it's not my fault that I stopped you. Obviously, it's something that you did unsafe, and that's why I stopped you. But anyway, the real story that I want to share with you guys, I recall working on the checkpoint with another officer. Now, anytime you have an established checkpoint, you have to have a number. So prior to you setting up that checkpoint, your supervisor, they're going to say, I want you to stop every 10th car, every 15th car, every 20th car, whatever that number is. You have to write that number down in your memo book. And I'll probably get into what a memo book is, a little later, in another video, another time. You write that number down. So that's what makes it legal. All right. So now I have a number. It's not random. And I put it in my memo book prior to setting up this checkpoint. So I'm on this checkpoint and I'm looking for whatever number, of the day is for that particular checkpoint. But in addition to the checkpoint number, you're still authorized or obligated, or whatever the case may be, to look for visual violations. So let's just say the number of the day was 10. I'm looking for every 10th vehicle to stop. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're number 10. I pull you into the checkpoint and do whatever it is that we do. Release you back. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're number 10. Pull you over. You get the point, right? So in addition to that, it's visual violations. So if I'm counting and I see somebody with a headlight out, failed to signal, they're using their cell phone, anything in addition to that number, I can stop them. So I'm looking for whatever the number of the day is, but now I see a vehicle coming up and part of the license plate was obstructed with something. I really couldn't tell because I couldn't see what the full license plate was. So I stopped him, didn't even pull him out of the roadway. I just said, hey, sir, your license plate is obstructed with something. He goes, what is it? I says, all right, I don't know. Let's pull over. So I pulled him into the checkpoint. He gets out. He looks. He goes, oh, my God, it's grease. What happened was my brother broke down and, I had to push him out of the road and there was grease on the car and it got on the license plate, whatever. I says, all right, well, you're going to have to clean it off because it's illegal. So I gave him the warning. So right then and there, he just grabbed a little rag out the back of his car and he wiped off the grease on the plate. I'm there with another officer. And he says, oh, what happened? I explained. He goes, oh, at least you didn't write him because everybody knows I'm heavy with the hand. Yeah, I gave him the warning. But again, I give more warnings than I actually write. So I sent him on his way. 2, 3, 4 months down the road, we established another checkpoint. Funny thing is, I'm there with that same particular officer. And you guys know where I'm going with this story, right? Sitting out there, I'm looking for whatever the number of the day is, counting 1, 2, 3, whatever the number is. Up, I see a vehicle coming. Visual violation. This guy's license plate's obstructed. Pull him in. I said, sir, your license plate is obstructed. He goes, what is it? I don't know, but it's obstructed with something. He says, oh, let me see. Oh, you know what happened? Yeah, he said it. My brother broke down. I had to push him out of the road. I said, license registration. Oh, what happened? I said, you don't remember it was me that you told that very same story to maybe 4 months ago? And the look on his face was just like, doop. Unfortunately, he left with a summons. But that is a true story. I swear to you, I'm not lying. Same guy, same BS excuse. He wiped the grease off his license plate the first time. And at some point, he put it right back on. And he probably got away with it. He was one of those people that was gaming and beating the system. And he got caught. Did he do it again? Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But that day, I did my job. I gave him the warning the first time. The second time, he got the summons. That, my friends, is a true and real story from the street. So let me jump into the comments. Oh, and wait till the next live. I got a real good one for you. Big Mac Sam saying that's funny. Jimmy Haynes, I'll always back the blue and the firefighters. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. We're definitely in some weird times nowadays. Rubster760. Roopster, what's going on, brother? Roopster760, another content creator. That would definitely make you an expert. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Roopster760. He has a YouTube channel as well, where he's playing pool. And again, I watch it and I'm amazed by the talent. And I'll call it talent because I like playing pool myself, but I cannot do what these guys do. So go out, check his channel out, support him. Again, it costs you absolutely nothing to support. Hit the subscribe button, like their videos, watch it. It's amazing stuff that he and his fellow pool players do. So, Roopster, I appreciate you being here, man. Yes, rolling on 3. Check Twitter, hashtag fake temporary license plates. Check that out. You'll be amazed about the stuff you see on that with that hashtag. Check that out for sure. Joseph TX, I'm assuming Joseph. Yes, there it is. Texas flag says, why do you have a specific number? Is this some constitutional requirement? If you are referring to the checkpoint, I just can't go out and set up a checkpoint and say, all right, I'm going to stop every license plate that I see from Texas. That's not random. That's me targeting you because your license plate is from Texas. That's not how it works. You have to have an established number. That's what makes the checkpoint legal. There are other things that are involved with it, but that is a requirement. So now if I pull you over, you can't say, oh, you just stopped me because I'm from Texas. No, I'm stopping you because you are number 10. Well, how do I know that? Well, excuse me. I go back to my memo book and you see right here at the start of my tour, we have what is called roll call, and it goes, the date, the time, what the weather conditions are at the start of the tour, any pertinent information. They're going to say we're doing a checkpoint and I have to stop every 10th vehicle. So that's all in sequential order. So I can't go back later on and change it. I can't add it because these memo books, they're legal documents. So that number is going to be in the memo book, and it's going to say that these officers are performing a checkpoint, and they're stopping every 10th vehicle. So that's what makes it legal. So if you ever wanted to challenge it and go to court and say, Your Honor, he just picked me out because my car is blue. Nope, Your Honor. Here's my memo book. It says every 10th vehicle or whatever 5th vehicle. Whatever the number is, that's why it's there. That's one of the requirements to make it legal. I hope I answered your question. If not, I'll try and expand upon it, maybe in another vehicle. See, I got vehicles in my brain. In another video, and really go through what a checkpoint is and what the criteria is to set it up. Maybe, I can do that. Roopster760, the only time I'm not saying pick me. You're gonna have to explain that one, brother. He says, I appreciate the compliment. Listen, I'm there. I try and chime in. I get in there early, let you know I'm there. I'm supporting you. But I know you guys are doing, and I like the fact that you got other people, helping you remotely. We got to talk about that because that would definitely help me a little bit. But listen, you guys are amazing, man. I enjoy it. Big Mac Sam, don't forget the messages you missed above. If I did, let me go back. My apologies. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I'm glad you said that. Tim Mercer, worked with that guy very early on in my career. Love that guy like my brother, man. Appreciate you checking me out on Facebook, brother. But come on over to YouTube, man. Join me over there and hit that like button. But Tim and I, he'll tell you, man, we were out there. We banged those summonses out with the town, man. But Tim, like myself, he picked up, he moved on, he moved out of the state, and he's doing some very good things with his agency right now that he's with, man. I'm proud of him, and I'm very happy for him. doing the job that he's doing in the state that he's in right now. Let's see. Just don't want to miss anything. Big Mac Sam says I missed something. Joseph, Texas, TX. I did miss one. He says, in Texas, our laws are very detailed about frames. 51% of the state name and 100% of the number, and you're good. Covers are a gray area. Well, listen, Texas, I appreciate you sharing that information with me. But Joseph, he put it out there. He's telling you in his state. I'll put it up again in Texas. They are very detailed about frames. He's telling you 51% of the state name. Like I said, in New York, or whatever state it is, in New York, you can't have any part of the state covered. But there you go. In the state of Texas. Thank you for sharing that. Tim, appreciate that. I'm trying, Tim. Trying to do it. Trying to educate people the best way I can, because education is key, man. Big Mac Sam, I tried doing giveaways too, and nothing. It's very interesting. I think people just don't want to do the work. Listen, I tried to make it simple. Like, what else do you have to do? You're watching the content already, and if I drop in a keyword, write it down, right? Send it to me in an email. That makes it so easy. Let's see. Rolling on 3. New York City has more Texas plates than Texas. Yeah, Joseph, I'm sure you can chime in a little bit. Here in New York, we have a big problem with license plates, those temporary tags from Texas, man. Those things, they're a problem here. And I said it probably 2 videos ago. I really don't want to get into it. And Keith Hammer, he is the expert with that. So maybe I'll invite him onto the show and talk about those Texas plates, man, because he's the expert, man. And that's that hashtag that I mentioned earlier on. Check that out. So I'm going to reach out to him and see if he'd be willing to come on and talk about it. Big Mac Sam, I get into this one. Try giving lots of money away like Mr. Beast, and that's a different story. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know about Mr. Beast, this guy is a multi-millionaire, and he gives away thousands of dollars. Let's see. Just don't want to miss anything. Captain J 696. So on New York City, no part of the vehicle's license plate can be covered or mutilated. Captain J 696. No, man, not at all. No part whatsoever. No frame, no cover, nothing. I don't know if you were here from the beginning of the live stream, but people have said in the comments in the video that I did a few years ago that, oh, I bought it in the store, so it must be legal. I went out, I bought one thanks to the donations that I received, and it says right here, legal disclaimer, right? The legal disclaimer says, check with your laws in the state that you're in, because putting this on your vehicle, it's illegal. But as far as mutilated, you see those license plates that are bent over or, scraped off, all of that's illegal. That's a summonable offense. Absolutely 100%. No question. You can receive a summons for that. Latoria B checking in. That's a fact. What's the fact? Latoria B, what's going on? What's the fact? Joseph TX, didn't Biggie have Texas play? Yes, that's a good one. Yes, indeed. Man, that was a good one. All right, so I think I'm all caught up. So any questions, comments, concerns about the license plate being covered, about my comment of the week? If not, we're just going to roll right into the last part of the show, which is my favorite part of the show, and that's the Q&A. Needed to refresh myself. Sorry about that, folks. But again, I always compliment my wife. She put me onto this Taylor Port wine. Very good. So here we are, live Q&A. I know you guys have questions, got some concerns. You got questions, I got answers for you. So let's just jump into the Q&A. Did I get caught up with everybody? All right. Captain J696, definitely. Yeah, are you saying about it being illegal? I hope so, because it is. Let's see. Big Mac Sam, great topic you picked. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. You're a content creator as well. It's not easy, brother, but again, when I first started, 5-6 years ago now, there was no YouTube channel. It was a podcast, and Keith Hammer was there from the very beginning, man. And it was Cops Court and Coffee then, where it was a morning podcast, so you can listen to the information, while having your morning coffee. But I had to drop the coffee name, and that was recent. So Cops Court and Community, I wanted to get out there, engage the community a little bit more. So that's where, we are now. But I always said very early on in, getting this channel up and running, and even the podcast, when you look at New York State's VTL and their criminal procedure law, and they're thick, man. So literally I can go page by page by page and have content for the next 15 years if I wanted. But who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. I want to get the most interesting things, things that I see, and hopes to, stop people from doing things that are getting themselves in trouble. Again, that minimum fine could be $138 in the state of New York for a covered license plate. And that's if you're going to Traffic Violations Bureau. If you end up in one of these village courts, it may be less, it may be more, So why waste $10 for something that's going to eventually catch up to you and cost you $138? Why? It's not worth it. All right. So Joseph TX, templates are a joke in Texas. They are de facto problem cause. They're the de facto problem cause to get pulled over there. Well, Joseph, I did an interview with a law enforcement officer from Texas, and he actually wrote a book about those Texas license plates. So it's a problem. If it's a problem there, it's a problem here. I guess they're a problem all over the place. But if you want to check out that video I did with him, he kind of elaborates on those Texas plates and what type of problems, it's causing for his people there. So as I filtered through these comments, let me just tell you guys again, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't done so, please, I said I wasn't going to do it, but please don't forget to subscribe. That was my little request from you guys. The like button is more important to me than the subscribe. Right now, I've grown this community to well over 7,200. I can't remember what the last number was, but that was organic, and I appreciate each and every one of them. I know 7,000 people, aren't, on these lives, but you know what? If you're here, you're here. If you catch the replay and show me some replay love, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. I say that every single live that I do. You have no idea how much it means for, I got 10 of you. For 10 of you to be here, it means a lot to me. So thank you so much. Let's see. Let me catch up. Remember, Big Mac Sam, any question or stay on topic. This is Q&A, man. Whatever you want to ask. It's not, it doesn't have to be topic related. Whatever you want to know. Joseph TX says, what goes hand in hand with templates, Walmart gift cards. I hope you get the implication. Listen, I get it. Rolling on three wheels. I get it, but the Mets tickets and bus fare. Yeah, that's kind of tying into what Joseph just said, I'm sure. Probable cause. I got you, brother. I got you. Big Mac Sam says there's always content. It's just a matter of making a video. It takes planning, recording, editing, uploading, setting everything up on YouTube, etc. Very time consuming. It's fun though. You know what? Yeah, it's a lot of work. And any content creator will tell you the same thing. It's a lot of work. But what I do, what you do, what Terry does, what Roopster does, Grumpy Riker, Rolling on 3, Set Free, I'm sorry, Conversations with D&D. If I missed any of my fellow and female, is there, what do you call a female? It's not a fellow. Is it fellow? I don't know. But all of my fellow content creators, I know what you go through, but I do it for a reason. I want to help. Yes, I was a big summons rider. I made a lot of arrests, but I did it because I wanted people to be safe. You know, there was no ill intentions behind it. I didn't do it, you know, just because, I need numbers. I don't care about numbers. You know, I could care less. What I care about is you guys right here, whoever's here live, whoever's catching the replay, it's you that I care about. And that's why I do the job that I do, because of you. I want you guys to be safe. I want you to get home safe to your families. I want your families to say, hey, you know, Latoria B, she's on her way home and she's home safely. That's what I do. That's the reason why. Joseph TX, he's on the road. I want to make sure he gets home safe. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I really do what I do here on this channel. It's about education. I just really want to educate people so that they have a better understanding of the laws in the simplest way I can. So there is no complicated, you know, legalese, wording, you know, in a legal book somewhere that I wouldn't even understand myself. But the only reason why I understand it is because I have the experience and I deal with it on a day-to-day basis. That's why I understand it. But the average person driving down the street, they might not know. So yes, I'm doing this for love, and it's for the education of it all. Let's see. Captain J696. So there's a story where a lady had a Texas temp in transit plate, and somebody made a copy and racked up hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Listen, I'm starting to understand Captain J696. I understand who you are a little bit. I think we're on the same page here. But yeah, listen, you can go on eBay. You can go on Craigslist. You can buy a Texas plate. You can get a Jersey temporary tag. These things they're out there. You can go online right now and get one of these plates. Slap them on your car. Go through, you know, these speed cameras. Get caught. Never going to come back to you. You can go through any of these toll facilities up and down I-95, because that's what it all is right now. It's all electronic cameras, you know, taking pictures of your plates and sending you bills in the mail. If that plate you bought off of eBay or Craigslist, it's never going to come back to anything. So you're beating the system. So it's coming out of my pocket. It's coming out of your pocket. Everybody that's out there legitimately registering, insuring, inspecting their cars, paying their tolls, doing the right thing that we're supposed to do. We're the ones that's paying for it. These people are spending whatever it costs, you know, to go buy these plates and beat the system. Yeah, it's a problem, man. Let's see. Let me go, because these comments are coming in. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Rolling on 3 Wheels says, question, what is the fine for covered or obstructed plates? Minimal fine in the state of New York. Again, if you're going to Traffic Violations Bureau, it's $138. So that's the cost of the fine plus the $88 New York State surcharge. Now, they don't look at your record until, you know, the case has been disposed of. Either they don't look if you're found not guilty, but if you're found guilty, then they can look at your record and then they set the appropriate fine. But, you know, I've been in court, you know, dozens and dozens of times, and, you know, people have crazy amounts of points in their license, and these people turn around and they still get $138 fine. So that's your minimum fine in Traffic Violations Bureau. Again, you could end up in a village court. Could be lower, could be higher, but I think the villages might be on the higher end. Jimmy Haynes, awesome job. Jimmy, thank you so much for being here, man. Thank you for subbing. I know you mentioned it in Terry's live, but I definitely appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Latoria B says it's just fellow. Thank you so much, Latoria B. Appreciate that. Big Mac Sam says, do you speak Spanish when you pull over a Hispanic that say no English? Well, you know what? There are tricks that I wouldn't even say tricks, but there's techniques that a good law enforcement officer is going to use. And I give you one real simple thing. You could be, having that interview with that particular motorist, and they could play that no English game all they want. They don't respond, but you just throw something, out there like, oh, I don't know, your seat's on fire. Hey, look, your shoelaces are untied. The minute they look down, you got them. That's a little technique. You just throw them off their game with something off the wall. Like, oh my God, look, a lion is over there. And they turn around and look, you got them, and that's happened. That's definitely happened. I've had people out of the car on the side of the road playing that same game, and I try and throw them off. Don't work. I know they're being legit. But I did have a guy try that one day. Just no, nothing. Didn't matter to me. I was writing the summons because he did something that was just totally unsafe. And the minute I handed him the summons, guess what? Perfect English. But we have enough Hispanic officers, Big Mac, where we're just going to call somebody. They're going to come, and now they're going to talk to you in your native dialect. So that's not going to work. Ethman, sorry. Just like the blue wall of science, you cops don't ticket each other for traffic infractions. You guys are above the law. Why? Wrong. I hate stuff like that. Nobody is above the law. People may think that they're above the law, but nobody is above the law. If you do something that is so bad, not even bad, if you do something that is unsafe, what makes you think that you won't receive a summons? Please answer that question, because I know for a fact that people that I work with have written summonses to officers. There are officers on my job that have received summonses from other agencies. It happens. Why do you think it doesn't happen? That's something from, I don't even know where you got that from, but nobody's above the law. People are writing summonses, and it's not because, oh, I don't like your agency or who you think you are. You're not better than me. It's not about that. So it happens. Now, there are courtesies, and I'm going to extend the same courtesy whether you're a brother or sister in blue, you're a firefighter, nurse, doctor, military, you're a teacher, or just a domestic engineer. You're a janitor in a school somewhere. Maybe you don't have a job. Maybe you're a student. Maybe you're in college. You're in high school. I'm going to give you that same courtesy that I would somebody that's a civil service worker, we would say. What's the difference? If I stop just a regular person, a person that works delivering packages from Amazon, and they run a stop sign, if I'm talking to them, and you know what? Yeah, you didn't come to a full and complete stop, or you know what? You shouldn't be on the cell phone. I saw you texting and driving. I'm going to give you a warning this time. I think this verbal admonishment is enough. What's the difference? If I stop somebody and they say, oh, I'm a police officer, or I'm a corrections officer, or I'm a court officer, I'm a sheriff, I'm some law enforcement officer, do you really think that I'm going to say, oh, go ahead? No, listen, I stopped you for this. What you did was wrong. And anybody should know, you should know that as a law enforcement officer. So guess what? Listen, you can't do that. You're not going to just say, oh, here's my ID and think you're getting out of there. Not going to happen. Listen, I'm not going to share stories, on this platform. But listen, I do my job. I do my job, and I don't want to jeopardize my job by not doing my job. That should answer your question. I hope it does. Rolling on 3. Question: what do I do if my plate is damaged? Return that license plate to the Department of Motor Vehicles. They will not charge you for a new one. They have to give you another one because it's their law. Well, not Department of Motor Vehicles law, but Department of Motor Vehicles is regulated by the state of New York. So it's the state of New York's law that says your license plate has to be clean and clear, posted or fixed, in a conspicuous location, blah, 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 all of that stuff. If your plate is damaged in some form or fashion, they're going to give you a new set of plates. You're going to lose that license plate number, but they're not going to charge you anything. So if you got a problem with your license plate, head over to DMV, get yourself a new plate or a set of license plates. Latoria B says, I need y'all back here because these motorists are out of line. Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody. They're stepping up their enforcement. So, yeah, guys are out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, yeah, I see it. People are out of control, no doubt. Captain J696, there you go, rolling on 3. If your plate is damaged, you need to visit the DMV to get a new set. Thank you so much for chiming in with that, Captain J. Let's see. Let me go back. Okay, got that one. Joseph Texas or Joseph TX. What happens if you pull someone for no front plate but realize they're from a one plate state? I hear that's a federal case right now in New York City. Well, there are a list, and I tell you, there's a list that exists. There are a list of states that only require one license plate. And if I see a vehicle coming down, there are things that I look for. New York State has a place on your windshield for registration and inspection. New Jersey has an inspection. A lot of states have, something on that front windshield that lets me know what state that particular vehicle is from. So what happens is if I don't see any type of stickers in the window and I see no front license plate, I'm going to pull you in because maybe that car you just bought from somebody and there's nothing, on the car at all. I pull that vehicle over and I see, oh, it's from one of these states that requires only one license plate. I'll say, listen, I stopped you for this reason, but I see that your car is registered from this particular state. Just want to let you know what's going on. Have a nice day. That's it. Victoria Beast telling Ethman that's actually not as true as you think. There you go. Rolling on 3 at Ethman. Do barbers charge each other to cut hair? What's your point? Again, I don't know what Ethman thinks, that all law enforcement officers are just turning a blind eye, to one another's, violations or inactions or whatever you want to call it. But just Google it. Simple enough. Go to Google and say police officer arrested for whatever. That's it. You're going to get so many articles. Police officer arrested for DWI. Who arrested them? A civilian? No. Another cop locked up another cop for DWI. They're out there. Look it up. The information is there. You just don't want to look it up. That's the issue. Let's see. Joseph TX, have you ever encountered a foreign plate like from overseas? I have not. I do see, the British style, license plate on the car. But what happens is they'll put the actual state license plate over that. So it's there. I can tell you in my entire career since April of 1996, I've never seen a car. I've never stopped a car that just had a foreign license plate on the car. Never. We said that. Let's see. Jimmy Haynes. What do you think of if the country would use a temp plate number as your regular plate? Because I know some southern states do it. Not quite sure, Jimmy, what you're referring to. You really would have to articulate that question just a little bit better. I'm not saying that it's not a very, very well-formed question. I just don't understand what you're asking. So if you could expand upon that a little bit, I might be able to answer that for you. Let's see. Big Mac Sam's, do you know what percentage of people in this country own at least one firearm? I read that it's over 40%. That I do not know. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't know. Maybe there are people who work in a firearms unit, maybe even somebody from, a gun range that might know that answer, but that answer I don't know. I know that there are a lot of gun-friendly states out there, so I'm sure that number is probably a lot higher than 40%. Joseph TX, is the front license plate on the dashboard a common thing in New York like it is in Texas? Well, yeah, you see it a lot. Not a lot. You see it often, but not a lot. But the issue is when they jam that license plate down between the dash and the windshield, and then you can't see it, then you're asking for trouble. And I tell people, look, I get it. Maybe the screws fell out, whatever reason why it's there. But that plate would still have to be displayed properly. I would still need to be able to see that. Now, that's only a temporary thing. If I continue to see that, that's a problem. I don't remember what the actual vehicle and traffic law specifies as far as height is concerned. I know that there's a minimum. There is a minimum how low that license plate can be. But as far as high as it can be, I'm not 100% sure. Victoria B saying, yes, Joseph, especially if it's a nice car. Yes. Big Mac Sam, when the weather gets better, you see these young guys doing wheelies on their motorcycle, lots of crazy stuff happening on the road. That's a big problem. ATVs and dirt bikes, they're not street legal here in the state of New York. So I know there are a lot of times where New York City, and let me not just say New York City, but it's more of a common problem in the confines of the city of New York. And they will go out and they will do some type of, enforcement on those bikes. And there's a video, you can look it up now, where they collected hundreds of these illegal bikes. And instead of them, selling these bikes, they destroyed them. They have video of, that the heavy bulldozer just crushing these things into pieces. So it's a problem. And I know there was something on the news. No, actually, I'm sorry. It was Twitter feed from the NYPD commissioner saying that people are starting to complain now. So it's a problem. Let's see. Joseph TX. Jimmy is talking about Arizona, Kansas, and Colorado, where your template is the final plate number. Interesting. So is it an actual metal license plate, those states, or is it an actual cardboard piece of paper? Because that's the issue. The legitimate, those legitimate license plates are, those paper cardboard, plates. But we do see that people are photocopying those things, or it's laminated, or they'll put those things in that sheet protector type thing. That's a problem. But it's very interesting that these other states are using that as their final plate. So I don't know about that, but I'm going to look into that and see. What am I drinking? This is Taylor Port wine. It's actually pretty good. Taylor Port. It's a port wine, and the company's Taylor. So it's Taylor Port. They have a California port. There are different ports. It's in the port family. Drinking water. That's good, though. Big Mac Sam, do you watch the YouTube channel Active Self Protection? He has a very good channel, over 1 million subscribers. No, never heard of it. I know you mentioned a couple other channels in the past. Roopster being one. I found his channel interesting and I subscribed, so I'll go and check out his channel as well. Joseph TX says it's paper printout in all of those states. Well, that's very interesting. Hold on. Sorry. Just some work stuff. So it's very interesting that they would just give you a paper plate as a temporary thing. Now, I've seen Colorado. What was the other states? Colorado, Arizona, Kansas. Arizona, Kansas, Colorado. Now, I've seen, these actual metal license plates on cars. I've never seen a paper plate from these states. So that's very interesting. That's a good thing for me to look up. So appreciate the information. Oh, wait. A little follow up here. The template shows the number of the actual metal plate that's going to be mailed to you. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. That's still interesting. So what you're saying is that if I'm in Colorado and I get a vehicle from a dealership, they're going to issue me a temporary plate, which could be ABC123. And then at some point, I'm going to get a metal license plate with that same number. Very interesting. Thank you. So as I always do, we are 1 hour, 22 minutes into the live. Appreciate you guys being here. If you're here for the replay, thank you so much. If you guys that are here for the replay have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comments section below. But I appreciate you checking in for the replay. Once again, guys, please don't forget to hit the like button. Very important for me. And if you haven't, subscribe. Let's see. Yes, Big Mac Sam, America's Most Wanted Monday. They are doing a reboot of John Walsh's America's Most Wanted. It's coming back. Unfortunately, he's not the host, but that was always a good show. So it's coming back. I did a quick little video on that information when I first heard the announcement. So good show. Definitely got a lot of bad guys off the street. Captain J 696, New Jersey temp tags or templates are getting crazy too in New York City. Again, eBay, Craigslist, they're out there. It's unfortunate, man. I know you're a good guy, and you're doing all of the right things, but there are just those people out there that just don't care. They're gonna try and beat the system any way they can. And let me tell you something, they're hurting us. They're hurting us bad. They're getting away with stuff. They're getting into accidents. I just heard a story today. Somebody got into an accident, almost had their vehicle totaled. Fake plate. They took off on them. It's unfortunate, man. It sucks. Rooster 760. Hope you enjoy the coffee. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Joseph TX, Ohio and Texas does the same for personalized plates. So you order Cops NCF, your temp says Cops NCF. Interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think we're all caught up with all of the comments, questions, and concerns. Again, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys interacting with me this evening. I appreciate you being here. It's so important. So I thank you. It's not overwhelming. It's nice. Let me just say that it's nice that you guys are here. We're down to 9 of you. You know what? I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Whether you're here on the YouTube channel, you're checking in from Facebook or Twitter. I appreciate you guys being here. Somebody told me that I should cut the feed to Facebook and Twitter when I first start to force them over there. But you know what? Why? You know what? If that's how they choose to watch and get the information, so be it. I don't care. I'd love for you guys to be here on this side. But if you're over there, you're watching. I know my very good friend Tim, he checked in from the Facebook Live, but appreciate you being here. I'm waiting to get approved for LinkedIn so I can push the stream over there as well. That's a whole different, type of platform over there. They just don't allow you to go live. You got to beg and plead for approval. Sometimes it takes months. But hey, I put in my application with LinkedIn and see if they approve me. If they do, they do. If they don't, oh well. Let's see. Latoria B says, my sister got hit a few weeks ago and the guy kept going. I told her the car was probably dirty. I probably would have to agree with you on that one. Not necessarily mean that, they had fake plates on there, but they probably had no insurance. So they just kept it moving. But one good thing is that they'll get caught eventually. People's luck, especially people like that, their luck runs out all of the time. So sorry your sister got into the accident. I really hope, she's okay. Hope the little one wasn't in the car with her, but as long as they're okay, you know what? That's all that matters. Cars can be fixed, but lives cannot be fixed. They can't be replaced. So as long as she's okay, that's a blessing. All right, wasn't bad. It was a small dent. That's great. Roopster sent me some free coffee. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. If he's utilizing that new link that I have in the description, guys, go to the links below and check them out. Some good stuff there that can help you. There's things that you can help me, continue to grow this channel. I said it in a few videos. You know what? You want to support the channel in any way you can. I definitely appreciate it. So roll it. Oh, let me go back one. Sorry, Big Mac Sam. What software do you use to edit? I'm an Apple guy. iPhone, iPads, iMacs, everything. So I use Final Cut Pro 10 for all of my editing when I get out there and do anything. That's what I use. That's what I've always used. I tried to use Adobe Premiere Pro, but to me that's a little overcomplicated. But people say, oh no, it's easy. It's better than Final Cut Pro. To a certain extent, yes, it is. There are certain features that I like in Adobe Premiere that I wish Final Cut would have. But I like it. I guess I could, work with it and get those features, but I just like the Final Cut Pro. Rolling on three wheels. Know how to spot a fake #fake temporary license plate on Twitter. Go check it out. Put in that hashtag and you will definitely see a whole lot of fake plates out there. Latoria B is confirming no insurance. Yes. Rolling on three wheels. Thank you so much. Donated $1.49 to the channel. I appreciate it. It's definitely going to, good use. So I appreciate your donation. Thank you so much. Latoria B was minor. She had the baby, but they're fine. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Joseph TX, did y'all ever do make a plate? Wait, did y'all ever do make a plate for peeling plates during COVID due to y'all's lack of templates? Make a plate for peeling? I'm not quite sure. Are you saying how the license plates tend to be peeling in New York? That's been a problem for a very long time. And actually, New York State put out an informational bulletin stating that, if your plates are peeling, replace them, when you can. And if a motorist actually received a summons for that license plate being, peeling or dirty or whatever it is that they were summons for, I saw a lot of cases get dismissed because New York State put that information out there. New York State knew for a fact that these plates were defective, and there were still summonses being written, and those summonses were getting dismissed. Rolling on 3, hit that donate. Keep the channel growing. Yeah, please. I'm not going to beg people to donate. Again, I'm doing this, out of the goodness of my heart. But it takes money to run a channel. People think, oh, you just go on YouTube and, you talk in front of the camera, you put content out there. But as Big Mac Sam says, hey, what software do I use? Final Cut Pro, look it up. Listen, it's not a cheap program. It's not overly expensive. But guess what? The computer that I run the program on is the expensive thing. So yeah, I'm looking to upgrade the computer. So you know what? That $1.49 that Rolling on 3, donated, it's going in the new computer bucket. I got, some donations in the last channel that went into the equipment bucket, and, the time before that, it went into, another equipment bucket. So for instance, this cost me $9.99. Am I ever going to use this? No. Am I going to give it away? No, because it's illegal. I mean, listen, I'm not going to give it away to have somebody put it on their car. No. Where did I get the money from? It's from a donation. You know what? I don't know what to do with it. I went out and got this little vlogging rig. It's over $200. But guess what? It came out of my pocket. But, hopefully one of those buckets, fill up where I can say, hey, thank you for the donation, that helped pay for whatever it was, that I got. So listen, I thank you, for every little bit that comes in. It goes back into the channel. Everybody knows. If you don't know, I'm not going to go out there and buy a Maserati with the money that comes in. Listen, that's not right. Any donations that come in go right back into the channel. Joseph Tex. I meant people making their own replacement plates due to peeling or getting lost while the DMV was shut down. Okay. Interesting enough. I actually am working on, and I could show you, my projects folder. There's just so much that I want to do and so much information that, I want to put out there. And that happens to be, on my list of things to do, to talk about, making your own license plate and things like that. And I'm not going to, spoil, my future projects by putting that information out there. But there's some stuff that I think people will be very surprised, about. And, maybe I'll, instead of, going out and, uploading a video, maybe I'll just do something like this and do a live and put that information out there. But either way, I want to put the information out there. Believe it or not, that's actually on my list. Big Mac Sam just donated, but it's not showing up. Well, if you did, brother, you did. And thank you so much, for the support. You've done enough. So thank you. Roopster 760. I'm an Apple guy as well. I'm ready for a laptop. And this, you don't have no flip phone. Come on, man. No way, no how. But if you do, man, you need to get into 2021. But I know you don't have no flip phone. Apple supporters don't have flip phones, man. But yeah, if you're ready to get one of those MacBooks or the MacBook Airs, man, send one my way, man, because I definitely would definitely like that. That's the only Apple product I don't have, and that's my laptop. I actually have a Windows laptop, believe it or not. My iPad, obviously, my Mac, my cell phone, my boys, I got them iPhone. So listen, I love the Apple product. Sorry for the crazy riding, having dinner and trying to text as well. Listen, what are you having for dinner, brother? I ate right before I came on the live, but listen, don't worry about it, man. I appreciate it. Big Mac Sam says on coffee. All right. Listen, I'm sure I'll get notification for that, but I appreciate your donation, man. Joseph TX, what do you think of the person who got New York State to issue them a personalized plate with a New York City taxi and limousine number? He also used the frame. Oh, he also used the frame to cover up Empire State. Let's see. Well, you know what? Those TLC drivers, one, let me just say they're suffering right now due to this pandemic. So a lot of them have taken their lives, unfortunately, because they just were overwhelmed with debt. So my heart goes out to them and their family. I think New York City should be doing more for those TLC drivers. But with respect to them getting personalized license plates and covering Empire State, well, there's a reason for that. If anybody has seen a TLC license plate, whether it's New York City or outlying taxi and limousine commission, there's either TLC or livery or something like that. Those guys tend to get a personalized license plate because they don't want to be, I don't want to say flagged, but a New York City TLC license plate will start with the letter T, have a series of numbers, and end with a C. So for those guys, it's kind of, a problem because they fear the TLC police, because those guys can pull you over and do an inspection, and they are very heavy-handed with the fines that these guys have to pay. So they'll get a personalized plate and they'll cover up, a portion of the TLC, and it just looks like a regular plate, like they're just a regular car on the street. So is it right? No, it's not right. But they do it. So I guess your question is, what do I think of the person who got them? Listen, I understand why they do it. They don't want to get stopped. They don't want to get that ticket because those guys put in a lot of hours, driving behind the wheel just to make ends meet for their family. And that's somebody, that's struggling. They're doing what they have to do. Yeah, they got a personalized plate, so they paid a little bit more money, but they're doing that for a reason. They don't want to stand out. They don't want to. I mean, listen, I don't know the reasoning behind it, but they do it for a reason. Is it right? No. Have they been stopped for it? Yes. Have they been issued summons for it? Yes, they have. I know so. So it's not right. So I understand why they do it. I hope that answers your question. Latoria B, Apple needs to get a touchscreen for those MacBooks. They behind the times. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't have one. I don't have that much money. But yeah, I understand. I was actually out with a new content creator, the Union Network, Union Labor, ULA, Union Labor Advisory Network, ULA, new content creator, Mike Fina. He's doing something for the labor, whether you're in the buildings trade, whether you're a law enforcement officer, firefighter. He's starting a channel. You can go check him out. It's new. I was actually sitting down with him for lunch, going over some things. So I'm going to help him, get his brand out there. So the reason why I'm saying that, Latoria B, is that he had a Windows laptop and it was all touchscreen. What is this? I had spinach salad with capers and feta and grilled tuna. Yum. Interesting. Alrighty. I think we are all caught up with the comments. We are 1 hour and 41 minutes into the live. We are at Yeah, 1 hour 41 minutes. So I don't like to hold people too long into this. I did what I wanted to do. I came on, presented my information, tried to do it in an entertaining, and fun way. Did it the best way I can. It was delicious. Um, let's see. Joseph TX says, I meant he ordered a standard personalized plate. Ah, gotcha. So this person ordered a personalized license plate to look like a TLC license plate. Gotcha. Well, that's just foolish. But if that guy gets caught, if he's actually out there trying to pick up fares, Uber or Lyft's system will not recognize that particular license plate in the city of New York. Now, if that particular license plate, he has an Uber, well, first of all, if he has an Uber Lyft account and it's outside of the city of New York, he's never going to get what they call a ping inside the city of New York. So if he's cruising the city to get fares, trying to utilize the app, that's never going to work. If he's just pulling up on people on the street and they see the license plate and they just assume that he's a TLC, a licensed TLC vehicle, then that's a very big problem. One that's a safety issue. And if he gets caught, I know I don't remember what the number is off the top of my head, but that's a very, very heavy fine. And I hope that's not what they're doing. But that particular person, if they choose to have, a license plate that looks like a TLC plate for whatever reason, that's up to them. I can't say anything about that. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. But let's see. But that's it. It was delicious. I'm sure it was. But like I said, guys, I appreciate you being here. It definitely means a lot for you guys to be here. We're down to 6, maybe 7 of you. I don't know what the number count is on the other platforms, but I appreciate you guys being here. Like I was saying, I like to put the information out there the best way I can in a fun, humorous way. I definitely appreciate you guys, engaging with me this evening. But I think, we need to wrap up and let you guys go about, your lives and, do what it is that you do. But, anybody that's followed, any of my videos, any of my lives, I always thank God, for allowing me, to be here and to do the things that I do. And I always end with this here. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. 1 Peter 3:8. I say it every time. It's not just words on your screen. Read it. It means something. It means something important. All of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. It means something to me. That's why I always say it. I'm not ashamed of it. I love it. It's something that I will end every single show with, every single live, whether it's an upload. That's how I end it. I want you guys to read it. If you follow it, it's up to you. But I would just ask you, read it. It means something. But I definitely appreciate you guys being here. Once again, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're here for the very first time, don't forget to subscribe. And once you do me a favor, put in the comment section below, I subscribed, and I will personally welcome you guys to the neighborhood and welcome you to the community. So let's just go back to the agenda real quick. Make sure I hit everything. Did the comment of the week, license plate cover follow-up, real stories from the street and the Q&A. So I hit everything. So I appreciate it. And we got a few comments popping in. Let's see. Joseph TX. It was a black new model Cadillac Escalade in New York City. Joseph TX. Are you in TX now, man? Or are you in New York City? Let me know. Roopster 760 and tour. Enjoyed the time with everyone. Appreciate you checking in, man. So much. Appreciate it. Big Mac Sam. Awesome. Thank you, man. Saying have a good night, everyone. Appreciate it. Latoria B. Preach. Not preaching. But listen, it means something. It means a lot. Joseph TX. Have a good night. Joe, appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate, the information that you brought forth. Thank you for the engagement, brother. I appreciate you being here. Latoria B, good night. We need that right about now. Yes, we definitely do. Big Mac Sam, amen. Can't be ashamed of that. Definitely not. Roops to 760, great show. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Trying to level myself up to your level, brother. Appreciate it. Joseph TX says, I'm in New Orleans right now. Well, man, listen, I need to come visit your fair city. It's been on my bucket list for a little while. I just got to get there and make it happen. Hopefully this pandemic thing ends soon. Hope we all can go about, some type of normalcy, and I can definitely come and visit your city. But once again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put it up again. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. 1 Peter 3:8. Thank you so much, guys. I keep saying I got to do this. I got to put in an outro. So that's something that I got to work on to say goodnight. But listen, I appreciate you guys being here. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Go enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night.